One arrival. A word to the wise. Never let yourself go at a banquet of the gods. You're liable to find yourself the goat to somebody's trickster like I did. I'll never get that goddess's laugh out of my head. Inanna, Aphrodite, Madonna, I've loved and lost them all. I never should have stared into that mirror. Next thing I knew, I had a wanging headache like a hangover on speed and found myself here on Earth, hurled in a heartbeat from the sun. How I got here from the other side of the galaxy is a complete conundrum. Still, as planets go, this one ain't bad. Plenty of water, trees dropping fruit, dead bodies everywhere. I see their spirits rise in morning mist. It's what keeps me alive, this beat that can sniff out the dead from 40 miles away. After my first year or two, I began to see what the dead see. I ask you, what is my mission here? To scratch off the days foraging for clues in a Holocaust boneyard? To eat liver, blood raw in the hopes it'll spit up the omens and cures? Besides, who listens to prophecy anymore? The 2x2 paradox makes poor food for a crow. Listen, I've stared into the water, and let me tell you, I've seen what's on the other side. You think this world is everything there is? 2, empires. One thing about humans, you generate some tasty garbage. From the time you were squatting around campfires until the day you began slotting yourselves into steel and glass cubicles, that much has never changed. The bigger the city, the bigger the garbage pile. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. You and I have what you might call a symbiotic relationship, where you find human, you find crow. Children sometimes watch me tearing tendon from bone. Their eyes seem to ask, why do you eat the dead? Listen, kids, our spirits forget bodies need meat to survive. But the children are relentless and need to know why. The apple buds of their minds have yet to open to the stark paradoxes that govern reality. And anyway, who could prepare them for the meat carnivals of empire? Blood for survival soon becomes blood sport. All bets are off. I've lost count of how many times I've seen empires swell like jeweled swords and then collapse into bone-licking sandstorms in the desert. To have ghosts there would imply presence in obelisk fractured avenues slumping from the weight of legend. Egypt, Babylon, Rome, Britain, America, voices spiraling grief into my ears, the dead all around me, desperate to undo karma's time bomb. But it's useless. Over and over again, things slide backwards into filth, crushing innocence, fists of ash. Again and again, I've asked the makers, why? And why me? But as usual, no reply. The closed hands of prayer calm the mind and the anxious heart, but answers are few. Even the temples are silent now, altars cracked in the clash of ape gods, hammering at the invisible for some way out of this blank purgatory. I never wanted this assignment, yet here I am, God of shadows, siren of the soul's departure, unwilling pariah, outsider of all outsiders, quintessence of loneliness. 3, the flood. When I rode that ship of souls, all groaning and growling for food, or weakly mewling in the dark of a smelly, sticky hole, I rode on the shoulders of her captain, that mad prophet of weather, Noah. He was a changeling long before me, an actor permanently in part, chewing up the cheap scenery with gusto as Zeus, Odin, Osiris, and even that black crow imposter himself, Darth Vader. Blurring ethical lines comes with the territory when all the gods are insane. I was Noah's eyes and ears long after his own had faded. God's little black angel, as long as I didn't try to sing. Hearing God's voice, ha! That was me, behind a reed curtain, just like the Gilgamesh poet said. Noah was a little bit psychic, got the drift of my thoughts quickly, and never stopped to ask how I knew. But let me tell you, I knew. Picked up the scent of rising water everywhere. It was almost more than I could bear. The copper walls of Ur, that brilliant city, buried to the ramparts in silt. Basin of earth full from ridge to ridge. Full of floating bodies and wreckage. 7 times 7 days and nights we lurched and swayed in that timber frame box, stinking of shit and despair. The days were the worst. Dead still afternoons. As if the world, contemplating its latest horror of extinction, had finally gone mute. Night wrapped us in black comfort. Blindness pierced by a canopy of stars, a melancholy animal howl, a blade of moonlight slicing through waves. Leaving the old man's bony shoulder for the last time took all the strength I had. But that first sodden sprig of green forgiveness rooted me to earth. Moist black promise, whose leaves never let go and never stop singing. Wind, a deft pianist, and every leaf another key.
Wow.